We haven't really covered that all season.
Right.
But essentially, they alternate banning maps until there's 5 maps remaining. And then the team that banned second gets to pick the first map, and they alternate. I believe, is it by who wins or just alternate?
I believe it just alternates.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maps actually have a pretty high impact on what characters will be played. So, and now that we will be playing up to 5 matches, we might see a couple of the more wonky maps. We might see some Ormond Nights, some Ormond Days, and I'm really excited to see the character selection that happens as a result of these different maps being in the pool.
Yeah, so we have our first match coming up. So remember, this is single elimination. So if they're out of the playoffs at least, then they'll move down into the promotion tournament.
Yeah.
Our first match isn't going to be the promotion relegation, thankfully. It is actually going to be instead Excel Wizards and Empath. So yeah. Excel Wizards and Empath, I think I don't know, it was interesting because we looked at Excel Wizards coming in. They're a bunch of veterans, but we know that they've kind of struggled with team comp throughout the season, I think, is probably their story. I know they're individually very, very skilled, but they haven't found that team comp that really sets them apart. Yeah,
you and I were talking about it earlier before the broadcast. They've been playing some wacky team comps that certainly haven't worked out in their favor, but moving later into the season, they've shown signs of success. So maybe they've figured something out that can lead them into a playoff bracket run, but their enemies, they're nobody you can just look past. Empath was actually one of my favorite teams in Group B. Thought they would do incredibly well, and you know, they're very good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard for Excel Wizards either way.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, these are still the best teams right now in North America, no matter how you cut it. I mean, there will be obviously some skill gaps between the toppest of top and just the prettiest of top.
Yeah.
But it's still nothing to laugh at. I mean, the biggest difference is I think for a long time you could rely on just your raw individual skill, and we see that falling apart now.
Yeah.
You can have your specialist character that you're just really, really good at, that you have, you know, 1,500 games in, but when that's not going to fit into a team composition that works in the current meta, your raw skill will not carry you.
Yeah, it's so crazy how raw skill has fallen off. We used to see players like Averse just dominate the scene with his talent, how good he was at landing abilities like Atea's M2, his M1, and playing safe. But now SSG, they're struggling even to be the top of their group. So it's really crazy. The scene is changing quite a lot very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, even when you just look at the skill ceiling of most games, obviously, especially for this one, it's very, very high when you look at working with your team, getting the combos off, those half-second stuns that you're trying to line up damage with.
Yeah.
But just the raw skill, it's starting to kind of peter out. There's not as much of a gap. It used to be pretty steep where the best were up here, but now it's kind of becoming a lot more flat.
Yeah.
So just those quick reaction times and ability to land everything, that's getting more uniform, and now it's to the point where everyone just needs to work better as a team, whichever team comps come into play.
I couldn't agree anymore, yeah.
So we're going to get into our draft, and we're going to, as we do this, there was a big patch that came out, so throughout today's broadcast, we'll talk a little bit about that. I love to just go on a 20-minute pre-show talk about it, but sadly I don't have the time for it. No one wants to hear it. But we're going to get into the draft again. There's no bans, just picks. Simple blind draft, back and forth, one champion at a time. We're going to see Pestilus and Alicia.
Yeah, Pestilus.
Ice Lady.
Yeah, Ice Lady. Pestilus, the bug, saw a lot of changes to his abilities. A lot of his Battleites got buffed in attempt to make his kit more versatile, because generally you would just see Pestilus pick the same 5 Battleites every time. But now a couple of his different Battleites got buffed. His R Battlerite that gives that shield, it got a cooldown reduction of 3 seconds, so that's really big. So to see this Pestilus pick, I'm not all that surprised.
There is not a lot of skills in the game that don't require a skill shot, and shield applications are one of those.
And they're so important.
Yeah, and they can become so incredibly important when you're just talking about mitigation, and Pestilus can't heal from a distance, right? He is one of the M1, M2 healers.
Yep.
So he can't just put an M2 underneath you from a distance if there's bodies in the way. Even allied bodies will block.
Yeah.
Everything gets in the way, so it gets difficult. But being able to kind of place that shield without having to worry about what's in the way, without having to worry about landing a skill shot, is really important for his kit. So it's cool that they reduced the cooldown. I think it gives him a little bit more versatility in any kind of range comp where he's going to lose sight and lose distance with his allies.
Yeah, I really like this Paloma pick from Excel Wizards. Of course, Niwa is very good at Paloma. Also, it's a nice matchup into the Pestilus. One of the most important things about Paloma is being able to reliably hit your wolf, get that bounce off. That queen, that's the easiest wolf target in the game. You just throw your wolf onto that Pestilus queen, it's going to bounce to all of the enemies.
Yep.
And one of the abilities of Paloma tied to her M1, the Battlerite got buffed pretty significantly. So the Soul Bond, which links enemies together and shares damage they take. The damage that enemies share was buffed by 10% if you take that Battlerite, which 40% total is quite a lot of shared damage, especially when you have a reliable way to apply that Soul Bond with your Ghost Wolf. So I really like this pick.
And just a heads up, these are swapped right now. So Excel Wizards are the one that have Pestilus, Shifu, and Esmo, and Empath are the ones with Alicia, Paloma, and now Freya for their third. We're looking at, again, team compositions that are going to be trying to meld together. It seems like the Empath's pick, Paloma, Freya, and Alicia, correct me if you think I'm wrong, is just like Paloma's just there to help out the other two do what they do best, which is just deal damage.
Right, yeah.
Like Freya and Alicia, they just pump damage out. And Alicia can kind of slow that down with a couple of freezes, getting people locked down with her ultimate if she can do that. And Freya's just going to be mucking about.
Yeah, Freya's going to be doing the Freya thing we always talk about. Freya goes, she just creates havoc and makes a mess. The Freya pick into the Shifu is very smart too. Of course, this is Skywin Shifu, and he looked pretty good on it last week. But Freya makes Shifu's life really hard. When you just apply that Thunder to him and rotate back onto him when he's trying to engage on your backline, Freya can just make Shifu's life hell. And
we talk about Niwa, one of the best supports out there in North America, and for a long time dominated heavily. Like, he was the support in North America. That has shifted a little bit, I'd say. I think there are some people that have really come and kind of taken his throne or can definitely show equal skill. But him on Pestilus, with it getting a little bit of a buff, I know he kind of likes Pestilus. He tends to veer towards Pestilus whenever he gets a chance. And I love the unique gameplay that he can pump out. There's actually, I saw in the Odium, somebody posted up, I forget who it was. There was a really fun moment where there was a Pestilus and an Esmo ult, and they used the Queen movement to like help push him out, and he was like trying to run out, and it just got him out of the Esmo ult in time, which is a super fun interaction.
Cute things you can do. I like that.
You'd mentioned it. I see someone hanging out in chat talking about Jamila. She got quite a lot of changes, and there's a good chance we'll see her today.
Dude, I don't know if we'll see her today simply because the patch hit so close to the BPL, but my god, did she get some buffs. That character can output so much damage now. I could go on this Jamila rant, but I think we're better off holding this for later. This game, though, this is game 1 in the best of 5, so both of these teams going to be feeling out each other with these different team comps, and they have the ability to switch up what comps they're running in the next game, so it'll be very interesting. I'm very excited to see how Wildebeest on this Paloma works out about the Pestilus. Of course, I said Wildebeest and the Paloma and the Ghost Wolf is very good against the Bugman. I'm excited to see if it actually plays out that way.
Skywind on Shifu. He should have a pretty okay time sticking to Chalt.
Yeah.
We see Chalt and Alicia a lot, and we've actually seen this matchup specifically.
Yes.
And Skywind did a pretty good job of really making Chalt's life difficult, but he's going to have to deal with other side. Oh, he already got a pull early on. Glacial Prism's down, won't find any value, and this is it. Esmo's actually, look what happened to Chalt.
That is a bad start there. Skywind did a great job pressuring Wildebeest, so Wildebeest couldn't commit cooldowns to Chalt, and now Chalt's just getting punished so hard the other side comes out, but they're going to rotate right onto the Paloma. This is beautiful play from Excel Wizards, Carpet.
It does not feel good for Chalt. Esmo's ult already down, but look at the damage he just took in the meantime, dumping so much energy for that. What is happening to him? Him and Chalt now nearly equal in health. Talk about a comeback.
Oh, Chalt, he almost dies to that EX Spear in M2, but he is able to make it back, but he will. Oh, he doesn't die there. The M2 from Dwizzle misses.
Glacial Prism is trying to get the heals from Wildebeest, who's just going to take the damage. He's okay with this. Keep Chalt alive for the damage.
Oh, sick iframe there from Wildebeest, using his energy to get that iframe on ultimate, not getting hit by the Chaos Grip. Very important.
Red team now, 2 orbs to none. Shifu just wants to find Chalt, getting kept at bay. Wildebeest just trying to body block, gets the spacebar, so he won't get hit by the M2. Chalt will finally go down.
It's crazy he was able to make it that far. He was so low from the beginning. They finally find the kill on Explosion. He's going to man up against Dwizzle, try to do something, but looking like he's probably going to die here.
Yeah, that opening, I think, really sealed their fate, and they know it. Empath essentially just tried to fight for some sort of freakish combo. They were actually able to get Esmo down critically low. He was nearly as low as Chalt, but just with the bountiness of Esmo and just with the lack of control and no orbs, it was going to be that much harder for them to lock on a Dwizzle in retrospect of Chalt getting chased down by the Shifu. Dwizzle, a lot of M2 grabs.
Yes, a lot. Like that first one onto Chalt just absolutely changed the pace of the round, and I really like the way Excel Wizards played off of it. Skywind did a great job pressuring Wildebeest, so he couldn't get onto Chalt, and Excel Wizards, they just forced Empath to play very split, which is not what you want to do with Paloma.
Explosion trying to just hunt down and put pressure on the back line. The Queen is just going to body block between him and Niwa. Niwa finds an infest. Oh my god, going for Chalt, knowing that Freya would iframe that. Nicely played by Dwizzle. Skywind now in the middle is going to help them secure the orb. EX space as well to get the heals as Niwa is dealing with Explosion in the bottom. Oh no, a missed base bar.
That snow cone coming out, getting the freeze, really nicely done. The other side, a little bit of an unfortunate usage from Wildebeest, and he's not looking too good, nor is his Freya.
Explosion's getting very low. There's the E. She's going to have counter up very shortly. She uses DX space to get out of there. Charlotte is going to smack a counter from Skywind as his team secures another orb. That is going to be 4 orbs over the 2 rounds for Excel Wizards. Empath have yet to secure 1.
All right, Wildebeest, he's sitting on his ultimate. He had a pretty high impact one last round. We'll see if he can do anything with it this time. They're trying to go on the Pestilus.
I like the idea.
Yeah, me too. Did a great job separating him. He's now far in no man's land. Explosion, though.
Oh!
He does manage to get the kill. That was kind of scary.
Yeah, I didn't think he would get that damage output, but look at how low Ogflosion is. He's Wildebeest is just trying to find him. He does have an ultimate. He's going to use it to try and get to Wizzle. They use 2 ultimates just to freeze him out of there. Now maybe go for... Oh, the double incap slows down the damage onto the Wizzle.
Ogflosion's lucky he had that shield. With that counter proc, though, that's not so lucky as he starts to take a decent amount of damage. Wildebeest has to play so smart with his allies here as they have almost no HP to work with, and Excel Wizards get another orb carpet.
It's going to be huge. There's the ultimate. Going to take out Ogflosion. Tried to iframe, but you can't counter through that. And now this became a much closer game.
Yeah. That's the power of the Shifu ultimate. He had that energy, spent that 100 to get the kill. Really nicely played by Skywind, and Excel Wizards, they're definitely in this one. Whistle's
about to get ult, potentially for the orb. He has the Arcane Barrier. Doesn't have time to build up the energy. He still secures an orb for himself. Skywind, no, Chult hits the counter. That's going to be pretty big for Skywind trying to chase down. Wildebeest does.
Beautiful.
He uses the ultimate. That was incredible.
Yep, I mentioned it earlier on. Wildebeest played absolutely amazingly with his ultimate in round 1, and the energy usage in round 2 just as spectacular as he manages to find the kill on the Esmo and not die to the Esmo ultimate.
Nice bait with the Wolf. Skywind getting the EX space, trying to heal back up. He needs this orb to survive, but the freeze is not going to make that easy for him. Gets the incapacitate. 50 energy for that. Oh my god, look at the baits now. Charles not going to hit that counter anymore. He knows how critical it is.
Yeah, he can't make that mistake again, and he understands it. A beautiful bait going to lead to the kill of Skywind and Empath. It looked kind of scary for him for a second, but they managed to clutch it out.
I mean, there are a lot of ways to bait people, and I think the best way is to actually let the projectile get out of your hands. And just send it right next to him.
Yep.
Because there's no way they're going to read the angle that quickly. They can't know. They have to react the moment it leaves your hand.
Yep.
They're just waiting like, is he going to cancel? He's going to cancel. He didn't cancel. Yes.
Absolutely. People aren't analyzing that angle. They're just analyzing the release.
Yep.
So once you see that Ice Spear come out from Chult, Skywind was like, okay, I'm pressing counter. It's going to hit me. But a beautiful play from Chult.
Tied up in rounds now. Empath coming back after a very, very difficult round 1.
Wildebeest, he went for that Ghost Wolf on the Pestilence Queen, but it isn't going to land. DeWhistle trying to mount up there, a little bit questionable as he gets punished for it a bit.
So you'll notice that Niwa just kind of ends up kind of alone. Oh, a nice panic, sending that Queen into Ogflosion. The incapacitate onto the sky when they'll find Wildebeest, who has to other side himself, which means now the chance to go on Chult potentially. If Ogflosion doesn't have counter, they want to hunt down. No, Skywind finds Chult. The counter gets hit. The ultimate from Esmo is going to deal damage to both of them.
Will.
A little bit late on that ultimate.
Yeah, and that's an energy spend too. That's been so key for Empath in these last 2 rounds. The fact that he won't have it for a couple more seconds is pretty rough. But luckily, since it is a Paloma, he's gaining that energy back very quickly simply by healing his allies.
Mind control, getting Ogflosion out of here. Has to space in. Tries to eat the M2 with a counter, but DeWhistle knows better. Skywind this time actually not pulling the counter, knowing that they're just dodging his counter this time. Chult missing deliberately with the M2 incapacity on the support. But they still get the orb. That was great.
Yeah, Og gets the orb for his team. That's very important. Wildebeest sitting on ultimate once again, as is Chult. They might look for a wombo here, but Wildebeest unfortunately has to ulti defensively. Gets some nice healing, though.
Yeah, all 3 getting healed. That was massive amounts of healing.
Oh!
A lot of value. Look at this combo. They're just ignoring and making sure that Chult can't put damage out from a distance, and that's okay. Ogflosion won't be able to burst Niwa to death just yet. Another incapacitate.
Up top, though, Niwa getting pretty low. He has to use the Infest very defensively while his ultimate's up. He only gets value out of 1 of the bugs. Definitely not ideal.
No, but he will survive, which I think was totally worth it. Getting to put the damage on and get the heals onto Freya, who's now stuck in a panic. Niwa goes down, but Ogflosion might go down right now. Oh,
they need this orb.
Low. They need the orb, and they need to get the kill. Blue team got the orb. That's going to really help them with this.
Oh, that Ice Crown from Chult was beautiful, and another nice ultimate from Wildebeest. Oh, Explosion! He jumps in front of Skywind and pushes him back into the ultimate of Will.
That was actually great.
Very smart play from Empath.
Look at this. Empath really taking it to Excel Wizards. Whoever loses this goes down in the promotion relegation.
Yeah.
So this is huge. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot right now, but remember, this is a best of 5 with maps. So we see this map, and we're going to see at the minimum 2 more maps, the maximum 4 more maps.
Yes,
that's math.
Many more games to go. This one, though, looking like Empath seemed to have figured out how to play against Excel Wizards. I keep talking about it, but I'm very impressed by how well Wildebeest is playing. His ultimates have been absolutely on point. He had that triple heal last round, even though it initially looked like it wouldn't get that much value. And he finds the kill on Skywind with it at the end of the last rounds.
Essentially right now, Skywind's trying to find new ways to get the early punishment, as Chult isn't going to just give away those pulls into Esmo anymore, but it looks like he's found that in. Half the health down. The Incapacitate will slow down the damage. Skywind resetting his cooldowns. The pull onto Chalt, that's going to be massive as well. He's going to have to try and use cooldowns just to get out of here. And DeWizzle wants to chase down, so does Skywind. Is Chalt going to get out of this? It looks like he will for just a bit longer. In the meantime, Pestilus having a fine time with Augflosion. Not the same punishment.
Chalt is getting no room to work with here. He's getting just ran at endlessly. And on the other side, Augflosion didn't do much better against Niwa. Empath, it looks like they're falling apart this round.
Another wasted ult. No value in the Wildebeest ult. Didn't get the orb as well. Wildebeest in a tight spot. Skywind trying to bait the panic out of him as much as possible.
Wildebeest trying to keep his allies alive here. A very nice panic from Niwa, something we haven't spoke on just yet, but Niwa has been doing such a good job disrupting this backline with his panics.
Yeah.
Ooh, Empath, they get that orb though, and that was very important for them.
A little mistimed. Another pull is going to force Freya to actually use some cooldowns. The counter isn't going to work out. That's the last iframe, and Freya goes down first. Chalt's got an ultimate. He wants to try and burst down. Double shield onto Pestilus. There's the M2 and the ultimate.
Oh, the ice crown?
Almost so dirty, Chalt.
He almost did it, but that spear was available. Got Skywind right out of that. Wildebeest, he's out in no man's land, and you know, Chalt, he's in the grave.
That would have been actually insane if he'd used that ice crown to push Skywind back in, but sadly he was able to get his javelin secure onto a wall, get out of that ultimate, now tied up 2 rounds to 2. This is going to be a long series if it keeps up like this.
Yeah, we might see this one go the distance, but you know, we are still in game 1. Really nice play from Excel Wizards to take that round, though. Wildebeest didn't really find much value out of his ultimate or his energy usage, as up top he committed the ultimate in an attempt to get the orb, but ended up getting nothing.
All right, the openings for Excel Wizards seem to really tell the story of how these rounds go.
Yeah.
Let's see how they can pull it off. Skywind getting his counter hit. He does a very good job of timing that, but Chalt this time keeps him at bay. I like the Ice Crown just for the movement. And this time he gets the freeze. Look at this, turning it around, getting the M2. Trying to panic as well. Counter won't get hit. Skywind's in a really tough spot right now.
Yeah, he got burst down pretty hard. The opener definitely going in favor of Chalt this time. Not harassed quite as hard. Yeah, this is big for Empath. This is now Wildebeest getting close to his ultimate, as is Augflosion.
Chalt played that opening incredibly well. I think it's going to really help them win this. The Infest to help negate the damage. Oh, God. DeWizzle just... Oh, the M2 keeps him alive for just enough longer.
Oh, the ultimate, it catches him. It gets that snare, but they're very split. Yeah, Excel Wizards are not together. They are able to get back towards mid and take the orb, though. Very important for them, but they still have a 30% HP deficit.
There's 1 Scarab, 2 Scarabs. Third one for damage. No, doesn't make contact. Skywind's very low, but nearly has counter. There it is. He's got the counter, but he uses the EX space first. Incapacitate onto the support. Can they take out Explosion in time? Now's their chance. No, Skywind gets kept at bay. Counter gets hit. Doesn't secure orb. There's the pull. Onto the healthiest one. Good body block. Ultimate from Paloma. Oh, doesn't get any value on that, Chalt. A lot of energy dumped on the ground. DeWizzle dealing with Augflosion pretty well. Another body block.
Yeah, that pull, if that had hit Augflosion, that would have been very bad. Luckily, it hit Chalt. But Chalt, he's starting to get kind of low now, too.
Augflosion doing a really good job of getting these orbs. Just putting the pressure on just in time. Counter gets hit. Skywind canceling his R. He wants to get the Incapacitate. He might not make it much longer.
Oh, God.
Gonna ult through Augflosion. There's the pull. Will Augflosion go down here?
The Paloma ult.
Good defensive ultimate from Paloma. I don't understand how no one has died yet.
Yeah, this is crazy. The sustain on both of these teams is pretty unreal. Skywind, though, he's kind of put himself in an unfavorable situation. He burns that EX space. He makes it out just narrowly.
Freya's counter doesn't get hit, and she actually takes so much damage. All the shields get dumped onto her, and she has no more protection. The root from Esmo kept her just sitting in place.
Yeah, this is... as quickly as it went in the favor of Empath, they're now falling behind here.
Wait, Immaterial's down. Chalt has ultimate. Does he find Skywind? No, he finds nobody. And they lose the orb.
Yeah, they need this kill onto Skywind, but I'm not sure they're going to get it. The EX swap from Wildebeest is available, but a panic, nice panic from Niwa ensures that he gets hit by that Chaos Grip. Now Empath, pretty far down, going to go.
Yeah, and I don't think Chalt can 1v3 this even with an ultimate. Oh, he almost got all 3. That would have been pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
But he finds 2 instead. Excel Wizards, 3 rounds to 2, keeping it close. Keeping it close.
You mentioned it at the beginning of that last round, how it seemed like these rounds were based on the opener. A lot went right in that opener for Empath. Skywind got punished very hard by both Wildebeest and Schultz, and Ogflosion didn't take too much damage. But as the round went on, we saw Ogflosion start to just get chipped down lower and lower, as is the problem with Freya. She doesn't have any of that sustain, so when her shields are down, she has very wide openings where you can just you can hit her with that bug from Pestilus, that M2, and deal a bunch of damage. And at the end of the day, he just took too many unfavorable trades.
And Niwa, I think, struggling to follow with Skywind. So sometimes getting the support onto him from a distance can prove to be tough.
This is a good start for Empath, as the Infest has already been forced. Pestilus had to sit so far back now, but Niwa, he does a great job positioning and doesn't take too much damage.
Blue team gets the Orb Incapacitate onto an M2 for DeWizzle. Arcane Barriers up, won't hit into it. Ogflosion just trying to mess that backline up, and he's doing a great job of it.
Ooh, the Paloma ultimate, it comes out here. The first tick is going to hit, but the second does it. But now up top, DeWizzle is just getting beat down by this Freya.
It does find defensive value. At the very least, there's going to be an ultimate hit for Skywind. Freeze onto a DeWizzle that no one can punish on. The ult from Shifu gets panicked out, but he saves some energy then for the Immaterial. Scared from Niwa. DeWizzle's got an ult. He's at a tough time finding value, and if there's one iframe 2 for Freya, that would be potentially a chance, but he's going to actually save the energy for other things.
Wow, nice double incap into double fear. Great team play from Excel Wizards, something that was lacking from them before. They're really showing their improvement this game.
Wildebeest has an ultimate already, as does Pestilus. Freya just wants to get away. Oh, 2 scarabs to the face. Other side to try and save her, and she has to go into the Paloma ultimate just to not die. 2 scarabs.
1 scarab, 2 scarab, red scarab, blue scarab. Niwa around so much value out of that ultimate. And Ogflosion has almost no HP now, down to 67. He can't safely engage Carpet, and now Schultz doing no better. Things quickly falling apart for Empath. The ultimate needs to be huge. It lands onto the Esmo, but I don't think they'll be able to punish hard enough, especially with that Infest buff.
Nicely timed Infest from Niwa to protect him. Mind control. They're just going to make him walk into it. Oh, you don't see mind control kills very often. Those look so dirty. They now have the Orb and the mid control. Wildebeest and Ogflosion trying their best to push people away. But I don't think they're going to be able to make it with this health pool deficit. 28% to 57. Ogflosion getting close to an ultimate, but he'd need a dirty combo right now, and he just can't hold the energy. He's going to need it to try and put damage from a distance. Another mind control into an M2, lining up his own combos. This Pestilus play from Niwa is getting better by the round. Yeah,
I feel like Empath could learn something from the European players at this point. We see Empath take an early lead 2 rounds in a row, and they lose it by overextending. They go in and try to punish aggressively, trying to get in there and get something done, but they end up just ceding mid control and then losing an orb late into the round, which kind of just loses it for them. Excel Wizards are making these great comebacks by playing together and punishing the over-aggression of Empath.
And it's tough because once you see Pestilus space, like, your heart's just like, get him, just kill him, just get the bug guy, he's got nothing left. But it's so difficult because Niwa's placing himself so far. He's great with like that last inch of his hitbox on his M2, still able to heal from such a distance, placing his queen in good spots. Now he's just dealing with Ogflosion. Again, the opening, how will this go? No one really getting hit too hard. Excel Wizards taking a little bit, but not a lot of max health, if any.
Skywind, he's made his way onto the backline. It's where he wants to be, but it's not working out for him this time. His counter's not procced. A beautiful bait from Chalt with that flick, and now things are not looking good for Skywind. He's just getting shredded, Carpet.
Oh my God, so many things went wrong for Skywind there. Once his counter was in it, he tried to get out of there. He got in-capped as his javelin pulled him to the wall. Everything went downhill from there. Now the 2v3 from Excel Wizards. This is not going to be an easy feat.
Oh, Will, his swap timings are a little bit off. You know, we come to expect a little better from his Paloma. He gets hit by that ultimate, as does Schultz. Oh, and that pull. They could come back into this round. Excel Wizards could take this, but they don't get the orb.
They needed that orb. Such difficult timing. Esmo's going to be stuck in there. He's going to shield it. Oh, he just walks out of it as well, but Niwa is near death. 21 health for him. He's going to grab a green orb on the way out of there. Chalt is their target right now. They need to kill him to make this a 2v2, but they won't be able to. The freeze to negate damage, the silence, the shield, and there's the swap we're looking for.
Yeah, after that, Duizzle's like, okay. All right, let's move on.
That was all I had.
Yeah, we saw Wildebeest kind of redeem himself there a little bit at the end. Didn't get hit by that ultimate, saving Schultz. Things looking pretty good for Empath off of that round. They played a lot more controlled, and they coordinated very well on the Shifu. When he got to that wall on that left side, he just got in-capped and ruined. They did a great job recognizing he had no cooldowns, and if they can continue to punish the aggressor like that, then the rounds will obviously go in their favor.
And if you'll notice, Schultz very quickly building up that first 25% energy strictly for the Ice Crown, strictly for the Shifu.
Yes.
Once he's got nothing left, because you know, I don't think it hits counter, it'll just push it back. So he's using it as a good way to keep that distance and then just punish him.
Yeah, absolutely. And this time, Skywind's not getting punished nearly as hard. That space from Chalt was questionable. The other side's going to have to be spent on him as well. Now the counter, luckily for Ogplosion, it's procced, granting him that shield. If he hadn't got it, he would have had nothing else. Things, though, for Empath, not as ideal of a start as last round.
No, but thankfully for them, they haven't lost a lot of max health. It's only 80% health to 95. Not a massive gap, especially Wildebeest with a full ultimate, although Pestilus is getting close.
Yeah.
Explosion, nice incapacitate. Look at the chain CC on Aniwa.
Oh, God, the mind control. Oh. That was almost so sick. It did force out the other side. And Chalt with another very short-range space. They need to get a big punish here. But a triple fear. Niwa playing so well, separating Empath, not letting them group up together, punishing that positioning.
And that double in cap followed. Skywind getting kept at bay by the Ice Crown. Chalt has figured out how to keep this Shifu away from him. Oh no, Skywind just barely missing the M2, but Explosion, is the orb enough to keep him alive for very long?
Yeah, I don't know, Carpet. The ultimate's going to come out from Chalt to find something. If nothing else, it slows the roll of Excel Wizards, and the counter's not procced. They need to find this punish on the Pestilus, and they will. The second tick of the Paloma ult hits, and Niwa's now incredibly low. Ogplosion smells blood in the water, and he wants it. He goes for the ult, and it hits, and he gets the empowered M2 with the lightning.
What was that M2 damage? That was actually insane. Ogplosion just trying to stay alive now. Skywind goes down. What was that damage?
Yeah, that's one of the Freya changes from this patch. I believe the hammer on targets inflicted with thunder now deals like 20-something damage. It's absolutely insane the damage you can output. So we see that double hammer build paying for itself there. Ogplosion repping all those gold numbers, sitting pretty. And now Empath, they were losing pretty hard in these earlier rounds, but they found themselves in round 9. We'll see if they can take it.
And this is where that split happens, and it's very difficult against the team comp because Paloma's so AoE, Chalt is so AoE, Freya's so AoE. Everything they do is in a big distance. So generally what a Pestilus would want to do is stick near his allies, but then if their allies are a target, he's going to find just as much punishment because of all the AoE damage. So he needs to keep distance from targets, but then that's when people like Ogplosion can just hunt him down in the backline. And you see him again just going, forcing the infest out of him.
This is not the start Empath wanted. They're so split up. Skywind, he's harassing Wildebeest endlessly. Wildebeest not able to heal bot his allies. The in-cap now comes out too. And, but Empath, they managed to steal that orb, very surprisingly.
Whoever wins this round will take the first map. Chalt has an ultimate, Wildebeest has an ultimate, Ogplosion has an ultimate. Here we go! Skywind getting melted through! That could be the victory for them! All 3 ultimates coming down, except for Paloma's. That's not all 3, I'm a liar. Two ultimates.
We're not paid to count, Carpet. We're paid to yell at cool plays, and boy was that play nice. Skywind threw out his counter in a last-ditch attempt to survive, but the energy spent from Chalt ends up securing them that kill, and now Excel Wizards, they're just getting ran at. Ogplosion's not letting up this pressure, and there's not much Excel Wizards can do from this point.
Wildebeest has the ultimate as well. Could probably try and put this on the other side of the wall, just get some free damage if possible, but they're just going to play it safe, and I like it. They want the orb control. Will Wildebeest even use the ult just to help them secure orb? Nope. They're just going to buy time now. I think Excel Wizards just going to feel this out. If they can maybe get one really, really good ultimate off between Niwa and DeWizzle, there's going to be one. She's just going to counter it with her own. Paloma trying to get the kill. Niwa's now pretty much dead.
Yep, Niwa goes down, as do the rest of Excel Wizards, and Empath, they take these last 3 rounds in a row. Wildebeest doing such a good job enabling his allies, and Chalt, that great capitalization on the lack of immaterial. Shifu couldn't get out of that final ultimate, and Empath, they just came together. They played very well coordinated, as we saw in the rounds prior. When they got big punishes on the Shifu, they were able to win these rounds, and that's exactly what they did in this round 9.
When I looked originally at the team composition, Paloma, Freya, Alicia, not crazy amounts of ability to work together, but just those tiny bits where you get the Freya in cap into a freeze, into an M2 from Alicia, into just some more Thunder buff damage from Freya. It's hard to do, but when they can pull it off, it's a game changer for them. But you'll notice it doesn't happen very often, but the rounds that it does are pretty much victories.
Yeah, the rounds where they got that coordination just absolutely snowballed in their favor. And Wildebeest, he did an absolutely great job keeping his allies up. I was a little bit concerned because an M1 healer with Freya is kind of weird. Freya wants to go in and play aggressively. You can't really just heal bottom and sit with him. But it worked out for him. The other sides, they were never wasted. They were always used only when they had to be. And that's the signature of a good Paloma player, using that that key cooldown only when you need to and not just wasting it willy-nilly. And I'm very impressed by the way Empath were able to keep composure and take those last 3 rounds.
And Wildebeest, an ult spammer. He built up to the ultimate. He put it down. I can't get you with my M1 Freya, so here, I'm going to put that a little bit for damage. I think of what was really cool is he'd put it on the enemies first, and then all of his allies would just swarm to it for the second burst of heals. But talking about ultimate combinations, that last burst onto Shifu, lining up the 2 ultimates just in time when he had no more cooldowns. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're going to see it down here. Chalt, he's farming up that last bit of energy right now. Ogflosion already sitting on that full bar, and Skywind, he tries to use his counter hoping someone will hit it. Even the Swarm is committed to it. Niwa placing his shield down, but Skywind just gets absolutely massacred by all that damage.
And the timing, I mean, how perfectly that combo worked. Put the freeze on there, brought the freeze down to the smallest amount of shield, got the M2.
Yeah.
Unless he built the Battlerite that breaks the shield, but let's assume he didn't. Either way, still brought it to like maybe 5 HP, got the M2 just as the Freya ult was landing, which had already been triggered. He'd already pressed it. The big circle of death was there. Got it just in time to break the shield, get the damage, get just a little bit more damage, then static as well. He had no more immaterial, and then Swarm came shortly after, still wasn't enough to save him.
Yeah, I mean, they committed everything to saving Skywind there, and it still wasn't enough, and that's the power of coordination. We talked about it before that game even started. Teams are being successful in battle right now is more about being good with your team than being just raw and then just having raw skill.
I mean, it's an entire skill set.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to be good at working with your team, and you see why there. When you're able to work with them and just play well together, you can just find these opportunities to get huge punishes where you otherwise wouldn't have been able to.
And no matter how good you are as an individual, the kits in this game aren't designed around you alone being able to get crazy max health damage, especially if there's a support next to them or if they get mid-orb. So if you're just going crazy, if you're a Freya or a Shifu, yeah, I could probably take maybe 80 health off you. I've taken 40 off your max, right? Because I was able to land everything on you, and then they get an orb, and then they get a couple of greens. Now we're back to ground zero, and nothing has changed, and we're both in the same exact spot. But again, going into map number 2, we are going to have another pick phase. That is the first map of this series. First 1 to 3 wins, we'll take it.
Yep, first to 3. So Empath, they're well on their way. They got that 1 under their belts. Comp changes, I think we might see. I think maybe we'll see Niwa on Lucy.
Yeah.
He's very good at Lucy, as we all know. He used to dominate the scene with that character. And it's very good with Shifu. And it seemed at times the Pestilus couldn't do quite enough to help his allies, even though he was getting reliably good fears. Like he was double fearing the backline all day on that Bugman. But it just wasn't working out as the sustain for the Shifu just wasn't enough. So that's a potential. We might also see Skywind switch to Freya, but his Shifu's looked really good, so I'd be very surprised to see that.
I like the Shifu because I think the Incapacitate really helped them sometimes just slow things down when they needed to, or just really hone in on one. Lining up the panics, I think Lucy having the Clarity Potion will help with Freya. He can just kind of toss one back when Freya's just, or even when Freya's just trying to get onto Lucy. Because that is kind of Ogflosion's deal. He's like, all right, Niwa, you're mine. And actually getting the clarity. But no, we will see the Pestilence still come out of Niwa and Alicia again from Empath. Maybe we'll just see no changes at all.
Yeah, I can't blame Excel Wizards for still running the Pestilence. As like I said, the double fears on the backline were huge. And when you lose a game 4-5, you generally don't think to yourself, man, we got out-comped. Generally, it's like, we made a couple mistakes. We messed up a couple things there at the end. We should have had that game. And, you know, Excel Wizards, they probably should have had that game. But, so the comp not really the problem. Empath looking like they're running with the same thing too. Wouldn't be too surprised to see the Freya again. Yeah,
I mean it worked, right? The Freya, Ogflosion, when Ogflosion got a quick rotation on the Pestilence, Niwa had a really tough time, had to space away, had to essentially use his out, and that's when everyone tries to turn. Yep, it's going to be the same team compositions into map number 2. If Empath are able to take this, then there'll be essentially one map away from moving on, while Excel Wizards will then actually move down into the promotion relegation, which isn't going to be great, but they're not out just yet.
Yeah, they would have to lose another game in the relegation match against the qualifiers from the Rising Stars. So this match isn't the end of their BPL run, but we'll see. But come on, what's up with these teams? Don't they know that best of 5 means you're supposed to change comps?
I know, right?
We were like talking about it. Make it interesting.
Come on, yeah, give us something to talk about. I'm already struggling sometimes. I'm up here trying to do my job, and I'm running out of things to say. It's going to be an 8-hour day.
I could never tell. You always seem to speak so fluently.
I just make it up.
Wow, you're really good at making it up.
Make it up. I'm only 3 words in my brain at a time, and I just stack them on top of each other.
You just run with it?
It's just like 3 words, and I'm like, what are the next 3? And I just make it up every time I go. Yeah.
Very impressive. See, I create a script. I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it.
You got it like right here. You're reading
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So here's the deal. Pestilus.
Yeah. Let me look at my notes real quick.
And we can talk a little bit about all the Battlerite changes that we did see.
Oh, yes.
Freya, nothing too crazy. Again, she got the Battlerite change in her lightning rod. So it changes a little bit of how her health works for that ability. But nothing too crazy. Pestilus. Did he find much of a change?
Yeah. He, like we talked about, he got that cooldown reduction on his R, which is a pretty big deal. Just cooldown reduction on R abilities in general seems to be very good in Battlerite, since the R ability is generally such a high impact ability, right? It's one of your 25 energy abilities, and it generally has like a 15-second cooldown. So if you're able to reduce the cooldown by 20% on like a big shield, it makes sense that it would be good, right?
And the mind control cast time, or essentially the duration of it, increased by half a second.
Yeah.
So from 2 seconds to 2.5, which is why you saw him throw a couple bit more of those out.
Yeah, he was actually using it quite a lot. I was very surprised. Just generally Pestilus, just gonna opt to use that E.
It works like an incapacitate effectively, but you can also then kind of move them around, so it has a utility use to it on top of that. Incapacitate onto the support, so they're going to find a lot of burst damage on the Chalk, who spaces to find Wildebeest. But the panic, well done by Niwa, just keeping Wildebeest as far from his allies as possible and securing the first orb. Yeah,
Chalt's making the best of a bad situation down bottom as well, as Skywin doesn't get too much damage onto him thanks to a great Ice Crown. But things not looking good for Empath as they're getting so split, and that's the opposite of what you want with a Paloma comp. You want to sit together and turtle up a little bit.
But he does already have his ultimate. You know that he likes to use it defensively. He might use it to help secure this orb.
Yeah.
No, they're just going to secure the orb anyways, and now he's just dealing with a Sky when he has to use it to keep him at bay. There's the counter. It will get hit by Augflosion.
That Ghost Wolf misses. That's a little bit unfortunate, as there's a pretty big punish window on the Shifu. And now Augflosion out in no man's land. The ultimate from Chalt's going to land onto Skywind, but not too much damage comes from it, Carpet.
And he eats an M2 from DeWizzle, who's just going to try and eat through Augflosion right now, who has an ultimate. He's going to use the in-cap combo.
Yeah, that's a lot of energy spend for next to no value as DeWizzle gets healed up, and Augflosion is not sitting pretty down bottom as Skywind gets a nice in-cap on him. This is not good for Empath.
Wildebeest in a dangerous spot. He has the ultimate. He's going to use it just to stay alive a little bit longer. Augflosion finds the ult to find the value, and they find Pestilence as well. Look at that turnaround, but Wildebeest might go down right now.
He does. No healers.
That was a good read. Now, no healers for either team. This is all the 2v2. We have 2 ultimates, one for Chalt, one for DeWizzle.
Oh, it needs to land, and it does. Gives Chalt a little bit of breathing room, but he has no energy. He picks up these orange shards. They need to find the kill on DeWizzle up top. Chalt, he's going to space aggressively. Not going to end up getting him, though. This is so scary. As Chalt, he's just getting ran at by this Shifu now, and it's looking like DeWizzle's going to get this orb.
Oh, he hit the counter trying to go for the orb. I mean, you have to go for it. That orb was the tell of who would take this victory.
Yeah.
Augflosion with just enough energy. I don't know if he can do this. But there's always a chance for Freya. No, they know better than to hit the counter. Just running away.
Yeah. Can't run away from that ultimate as Skywind gets a movement speed buff and a purge from using his ultimate. It's a pretty good ability, that Whirlwind.
Just a little bit, eh?
I guess it's all right.
Let it rip.
Yeah.
Excel Wizards taking the first round of map number 2. They want to tie this up. Remember, this is a best of 5.
Yes.
For the maps.
There are many more maps to be played after this one, but so far it's looking like Excel Wizards are favored here. You know, Chalt, I can't help but feel like maybe he should have used an Ice Block in that last round, in that 2v2. He had next to no HP, but he was using his energy very aggressively and using his shield pretty aggressively too. Maybe a little bit of over-aggression from Empath.
Because the Ice Block, you can even use as support for your teammates. Could have put it onto the Freya if he'd stayed at bay, but...
Oh, DeWizzle.
DeWizzle taking a massive amount of punishment here. Chalt just wants to keep... Look at the M1s. Look at him go.
That attack speed on Chalt.
Oh, no, he found a Freya, not a Pestilence. He's just going to die for this.
Oh, yeah, up top, DeWizzle is just getting ruined. The orb, though, it does go to Excel Wizards. Great secure by Skywind. He's single-handedly keeping his team in this round.
And I really like that Augflosion just bailed. Instead of trying to overcommit for that kill, he actually just leaves DeWizzle alone, knowing that he didn't really have the burst damage with a Pestil standing right there. Wildebeest healing up, and there it is. DeWizzle finally goes down. Augflosion knowing they would get it eventually. Orb for Niwa and co. Skywin almost has an ultimate. Can he take out Wildebeest? He's trying to bait out the other side. No, he's actually just going to use a lot of energy here.
Ooh, that counter is hit, brings Skywin back into a little bit, but he's just getting tossed around like a rag doll. Incapped against the wall. The Scarab comes out from Niwa. The damage is starting to add up on Ogflosion, but that Paloma ultimate is there.
Oh,
ooh, as is Charles. Charles' energy spending has been amazing in this game. This match, honestly, he's landing so many ultimates, so high impact, and that ultimate going to keep his team in it.
He holds the ultimate. We have the conversation a lot in the philosophy of what do you do with your energy.
Yeah.
Once you have 100%, every bit of energy that you gain is essentially wasted.
Yes.
You don't get it. Now, is it worth it for the combo? And most of the time, yes, but there is a time period where you would have built it back up if you don't use it.
Yeah.
Now, it's very hard to know how long that'll take because you're trying to make your opponents do something that they don't want to do.
Yep.
They don't want to use their escapes because they know you might have that ultimate. So it's always that kind of fine balance, but I think Chalt's doing a great job of just utilizing that energy, using the ice crowns when he knows he needs to keep someone at bay, and then saving that ult when he knows that his team is getting close for a combo.
Ooh. This time, though, Chalt getting kind of manhandled at the beginning. No energy for the Ice Crown, and Skywin knows it, and he wants in.
There it is, getting pushed back. Counter won't get hit. Skywin's now in a really bad spot. He harpoons away. I think he built the battle right. He almost always does this, where if he javelins into a wall, he can javelin again with a recast.
Yeah, that's the Skywin special right there.
He's just so mobile with that champion. It's so much fun to watch.
Og, get the greens. No, Chalt, don't get the greens. Ogflosion, his true HP is so incredibly low here, Carpet. The shields are massive as he is a Freya, but now he's out. He's got no more shield abilities. Chalt also used his shielding ability. Things not looking so good for Empath. They get a big burst of damage onto Whizzle down bottom, but inevitably his spacebar is up again, and he's able to get these greens that spawn up top. This game of true HP is so incredibly important.
Oh my!
Sick!
The pull with the Chal. There's the shield as well. Chal has no more energy. Wildebeest has just enough for an ultimate. Ogflosion trying to keep himself at bay. I suspect we'll see a Paloma ultimate pretty soon.
Oh!
Eating the wolf with the counter so it doesn't take the orb.
Skywin, you so smart.
That was really smart. Ogflosion wanting to find some value but doesn't get his counter hit. Now he's just caught in between. Actually, an aggressive ultimate from Wildebeest. They're going to lose an ally. No, they can't take out Petulous in the meantime. The decision had to be made. But now they might be able to
dropping
take him out.
another.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't catch that freeze, though, and that's looking like it's going to be it. It looked for a second like Empath might be able to bring that back as Paloma had 2 ultimates, but the energy spend just not going to do enough. And we really see, once again, Empath overextending. Ogflosion could have just played back and got those greens, healed up a little bit, played a little bit more safe, and waited for the next orb, something we see very often in European Battlerite. But, you know, here in North America, we like to go, and Ogflosion got punished for going there.
And you talk about the thought process of why you want to go. So we talk about how important this opening is.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got all their cooldowns. And if you ever give anyone enough space to reset, it's that opening all over again. Everyone has their cooldowns, and it's how do you play it around that. And it seems like once Empath gets that first victory, they don't want to let off the pedal because they know how difficult it is for them to get that opening. And they don't want to let any of those cooldowns fully reset for all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So they're constantly just trying to push on one, and you'll see that with Ogflosion, where the moment he has any chance, he's just going to chase down another once he realizes the cooldowns are free. But you'll see where it goes awry sometimes for them, and Chalt now at half health.
Yeah, you talked about the opener in detail there, and we're seeing this one go very poorly for Empath. Skywin getting away with whatever he wants. Empath gets the orb, but Ogflosion's HP pool is so incredibly low. It's not looking like he's going to be able to pick up any green shards either, and he's just getting ruined. Carpet, the Incap is thrown out. The Glacier Prism is thrown too. But everything going so well. They might find a combo here, though. Oh my God! The Whizzle just gets everything thrown on him once again, and that's the coordination.
Boom!
Oh
Look at the damage right now that Empath, after such a weak opening, they're able to get the combos and absolutely melt through Excel Wizards. Ogflosion was just walking around trying not to die at that point.
Yeah.
He managed to find the Paloma ultimate. I was watching Ogflosion walk in, and then I turned and I saw the death incoming.
Yeah. Ooh, Chalt with that 666 damage. It's edgy. Alicia, though, really nice ultimate getting the kill onto Whizzle. And we've seen that time and time again. I think that's like the 3rd ultimate combo we've seen on Whizzle. Maybe showing that Whizzle's playing a little bit too aggressively when they're pulling ahead. Empath, not the only ones overextending here.
And you can see, again, 2 rounds to 2. These teams playing it close. They chose not to change team compositions at all, going from map 1 to map 2. Empath were able to take the first map, but it was still a very close game, bringing it all the way to the final round.
Ooh, really nice counter up top from Ogflosion, helping him sustain with those shields in the backline. But Skywin, he's taken almost no damage. Ogflosion, you can't say the same for him.
Yeah, I mean, even smacking the counter, they don't seem to care. They eat through that shield nearly immediately. Niwa's able to help heal himself with the Queen, and then he space bars into the Whizzle. gets the damage debuff. Smacking into the counter Niwa. Now he has to use his Infest to get out of there. Skywind is just trying to bait as many abilities out before he uses his cooldowns.
Ooh, the second tick of the ultimate is going to be big for Ogflosion and Empath secure that orb, but still, the HP deficit is 40%, and all of that HP is missing on Ogflosion.
Oh.
He gets pulled into the pull. The counter's not going to get procced, and the ultimate comes out. He tries to get something, but ends up getting nothing. This is not good for Empath. We see a freeze come out from Chalt, and it gets a decent amount of damage, followed up by an in-cap. This orb take is going to be so important, but Empath can't get it.
That could have been an overcommit that we would have seen out of Dewizzle. Again, he tried to chase down for that kill on Ogflosion. You saw him get smacked by an ultimate. Almost burst damage, but it just wasn't enough. Healthy champions to help with the burst. Ogflosion's probably going to go down right around here. The other side is there to keep him alive just a tad bit longer.
Oh, that's so good. Sick team coordination from Excel Wizards. The double in-cap into double bug fear from Niwa. Really nicely played, and it allows them to secure their third orb of the rounds.
Still somehow Freya stays alive longer than I'd suspected. Charles having to space out safely as opposed to aggressively. Wildebeest now caught in there. Is going to use the ultimate to help stay alive, but Excel Wizards get their fourth orb. Alicia finally goes down. Just a matter of time right now.
Yeah, pretty much. There was a lot of mistakes that would have to be made by Excel Wizards to bring Empath back into that round, but they're going to end up cleaning it up at the end. A really nice double in-cap into double fear helped them secure one of the last orbs, and from that point on, the round was all but over. Now that it's finally played out, Excel Wizards going to add one little circle to their score up top.
2 more for them, and they can tie it up. Remember, best of 5 in the maps. There's a lot more Battlerite to be played between these two teams, and they're keeping it mighty close. Dewizzle nearly getting caught out there, trying to overcommit to try and get the kill onto Ogflosion. There's someone that you want to chase down. It's probably not going to be a Freya.
Yeah, you know, Freya can turn pretty quick with a simple Thunderclap into in-cap off M2. There's a lot of stuff you got to watch out for with the Freya and Dewizzle. He almost got punished for it, but the lead was just so massive at that point that Excel Wizards hung on. We'll see if Empath are able to secure these orbs earlier on and bring themselves into the round with these nice ult combos. But so far, it's looking like Excel Wizards, they've kind of found the answer. Oh, and Chalt this round is just getting eviscerated.
Yes. Skywind first finding the wall, and then going on a Chalt. Space is now down. Dewizzle goes for Ogflosion instead. They find the value. Ogflosion getting melted through. No more counter can go through that. The Glacial Prism, there's the counter. He's got some more iframes built up now.
You cannot keep playing like this if you're Empath. You cannot keep playing with raw aggression early on and just hoping it works out, as it seems like the red team have found out how they need to answer Ogflosion's aggression. And it's looking pretty favorable for Excel Wizards at this point, as Wildebeest has to use the other side on himself. Chalt goes down as well. And man, the red team, Excel Wizards, are doing such a great job punishing this Freya.
Yeah. Ogflosion's going in there and she's left all alone, which is the Freya way. Freya's more of a lone wolf champion. She goes in, she can handle herself.
It's not like they're with a Lucy, though. It's like this comp is very, very odd for the Freya, because the Paloma can't really do anything other than commit other side to the Freya when she goes in. But other side is so often needing to be spent on Skywind's aggression. Like, Chalt is needing these other sides because Skywind is doing such a great job punishing this backline, and Empath desperately need to adjust.
Chalt usually using that Ice Crown earlier rounds, but now, again, going from wall to wall, Skywind is just such a sticky champion when he's on Shifu. Stickier than Shifus normally are. EX material already out. There's the M2. They have about an even trade there in the backline, but now they're actually going to find Pestilus. A much better opening for Empath this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Chalt was able to get that energy for the Ice Crown. He's almost at ultimate now, too. Wildebeest also getting close. We'll be looking for a big wombo here.
The Skywind helped secure the orb for Excel Wizards. Empath really needed that to try and spread this gap.
Oh, what was that range on that pull? Dewizzle bringing Chalt in from downtown. Gonna opt to punish Skywind here, but he manages to narrowly make it out thanks to that space haste.
The EXE to pull the orb.
Oh, wow. Just the tip there at the end ends up hitting that Pestilus, and they're now going to drop all of the ultimates. They're going to... Oh, the Infest, though, comes out just at the end. The panic a little bit mistimed from Wildebeest.
That was great, though, trying to make sure that he couldn't even space out with that panic. As much CC as possible. Ogflosion. There's the in-cap. There's the combo. The space is now down. He finds the other side of the wall as opposed to going in. And now Niwa's in a really, really tight spot. He puts down the Queen. Gets the panic onto Ogflosion.
Yeah, Empath, this is how they've been winning rounds earlier on with these big ultimates, but Excel Wizards, unfortunately, are getting every single orb. Empath having a really hard time reaching their end goal. The Scarab now coming out, landing onto the Freya, but so much shielding prevents a lot of the damage. But wow, at the end of that, it just came out of nowhere.
It was a one to try and punish Chalt as much as he possibly can. Wildebeest, safety ultimate, knowing that this round could be their last on this map.
Og needs to farm to ultimate carpet. Desperately needs the ultimate in order to find a kill on Niwa. Chalt's getting close to his. We've seen Empath be successful when they have these ultimate timings line up. If they manage to get this orb, it'll look pretty good for him, but Skywinds! That EX Spear from downtown secures the orb, and that's really bad for Empath.
Ogflosion just going in. He knows this could be their only chance. The other side is down.
Good other side.
He finds Skywind. The counter's out, but now Ogflosion's got nothing left. Chalt's just going to walk right to a Skywind. Incap to turn on the other one. Ice Block finally comes down. Ogflosion won't hit that. Uh-oh, Skywind's in a really, really tight spot. But there it is. The double javelin, the recast on the wall.
Okay. The orb goes to Empath. That helps him out a little bit, but it's kind of too late at this point as they're all getting incredibly low.
Here comes the ult from Chalt. He's just walking in. He finds Niwa. Can they get the kill here? They do.
I love that play. That play was very smart from Ogflosion, running up and just thunderclapping off of the freeze. Now Empath, they managed to bring it back. That last orb take, bringing him back into it.
Skywind, if he can get this orb, he does. And he gets another orb. Nearly gets a kill for it. He's not going to be able to pull this off.
This is looking rough. He lays that M2 into Chalt, but at the end of the day, he will die. He leaves a double incap, though, on his way out. An Empath. I can't help but feel like if they start fixing their orb problems, these rounds will go so heavily in their favor. Yeah. We've seen them be so successful, especially in that round when they got the big ultimate punish onto Niwa. They used all 3 ultimates on him and chunked him down to 70 relatively early in the round. But they're getting so outscored in terms of orbs. The orb score that round was 2-5 in favor of Excel Wizards. If that were in Empath's favor, they would have another set of ults to work with, and I feel like the game would just be completely blown open in their favor.
Will Empath be able to make this comeback and give themselves a 2-map lead? Will Excel Wizards tie up the series and make me require some more caffeine? Skywind on the back line. Oh, he misses an incap. He wasn't able to cancel that in time, so he loses the energy. Orb is now up. This is massive. Empath need to grab this, and they will.
Wow, I'm really amazed they got that orb. The Queen was dropped for it. DeWizzle was M1ing it, but still, Empath takes it, and that's a great start for them. Chalt halfway to his ultimate. Wildebeest almost on his as well.
Wildebeest all alone. Other side's for himself. Almost has ultimate. You'd be looking to see Paloma. He loves to use that ultimate.
This orb's very important. Empath, they take another one. We'll see if my prediction was true here. Is that now all sitting on ultimates. Niwa's infested carpet.
I want to see it. Niwa's just infested. This could be the end.
Do it.
This is the end for Niwa.
All right, Og, go get him. Go get him. Yeah, apply that thunder. Not too much damage, though.
No, there was another shield that came his way.
Yeah.
Skywind, actually, just from standard damage. Took so much. What happened to Freya?
Where'd he go? Where'd the Freya go,
Let's play a fun game, everybody. Where is Freya?
Where's the Freya?
Find Freya's grave.
Find Freya's grave. Man.
No, I don't think they're going to be able to come back from that. That was massive. I mean, that kill, again, jumping on the other side of walls just kind of blindly. You don't know what you're in for. And at that point, he was in for a lot more cooldowns than he could handle. Wildebeest goes down. Empath. They were doing a pretty good job. That ult combo, I thought they would maybe kill Niwa down there.
Yeah, you know, they were feeling the same way I was. They were like, hey, if we can get that infest and just throw ultis on him, he will die. But great coordination, something we saw out of Youngsung a lot in their matches. Perfect shield timing onto Niwa negated a lot of the damage that came out. He got the EX shield from the Esmo, and he also used his own shield off of his R. And just together, that mitigates up to like 48 damage, I think. I think the Esmo shield is 28. I think Pestless is 20. So yeah. That's a lot of damage that he ended up not taking because of good shield timings.
And look at the protection on average from Paloma, 804.
That's a lot.
That is 804 heals.
Yeah.
Think about how many kills I could have been. Yeah. That's kind of nuts. But and I like the ult spam. The fact that they were just Paloma, just every time she had the ultimate, why not? It gives you so much presence. That is an area where you know for a fact that for the next X amount of seconds, no enemy's going to walk in here because they're not stupid. I'm going to get healed so long as any of my allies walk into it. They have to mostly just worry about the pull from Esmo to get someone out of the heal.
Right.
But outside of that, Excel Wizards are able to bring it back. They now have 1 map to 1 map. Looking at a couple of highlights from that round. Excel Wizards, you mentioned it, a lot of those combos, they were really lining up the shields especially.
Yeah, we saw the damage come out here. The freeze actually working in favor of the Pestilence as well. We see that Esmo shield right there, then the Infest, and we see Freya chase immediately after. He spaces in. He's just going to get absolutely melted right here. Wow, that in cap into double panic. Such sick play from Excel Wizards. I'm very glad Niwa didn't switch off that Pestilence.
Yeah.
Because he was having such a high impact.
And I can't believe this Skywin actually did not go down there. And that's essentially, they put just enough pressure on Aniwa that Skywin was left all alone, right? You use those ultimates on Aniwa. Everyone had to start pumping cooldowns in Aniwa instead. And that left Skywin alone. And that's when they all saw, oh, this is it. We've got our crosshairs on and we can take him down. But the turnaround burst, the in-cap panic, super cool to watch happen. They're able to pull it off. Again, they can change team comps if they want. I saw a couple people wondering if they were forced to stick with it. They are not.
Nope.
So they probably will, just because they've been so close. They've been toe-to-toe.
I don't want to see the Freya.
You're gonna.
I don't like the Freya with the Paloma, man.
You're gonna see it.
I'm probably gonna see it. I want to see the Shifu. Ogflosion's incredibly good at Shifu. He's also been practicing Raigon, and the Freya, it seems like in some of these rounds, she just gets absolutely destroyed early on.
Yeah.
But I think if you're playing a Paloma comp, which you would be with Wildebeest because he's so incredibly good at the Paloma, you want to pick a character that can kind of like sit back with allies. Of course, the Shifu can play very aggressively and rotate back to help teammates out. Yeah, I'm just not sold on this Freya pick.
I mean, you've been talking about him playing Raigon a lot. How do you think Raigon would play into this composition?
I think Raigon would be interesting. I'm not sure how Raigon does into the Shifu, but Raigon just destroys the Bugman.
Yeah.
The Thorn, we get the Thorn. Okay, so we're not going to see the Freya again, and I'd like this Thorn pick a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the synergy inherent in Thorn plus any other AoE character.
Yep.
The Snow from the Alicia is going to be very good with the Petrify off Entangling Roots. Really high value and very, very low risk combo there.
Yeah.
And of course, the other side is so good with Thorn since he just sometimes he can overextend due to how his kit plays out. Sometimes you'll use the Barbed Husk and it won't get hit, and you'll find yourself in this like, oh crap situation.
Yeah.
And the other side can be very nice in Thorn. He's also very good from a range. The Entangling Roots hitting from so far away, the pull having a really high impact on the orb. I like this much better with the Paloma.
Something I want to see, because I'll say this out loud, you can call me an idiot. I think the EX space from Thorn is incredibly underused.
You're an idiot.
I think people, thank you. I gave you permission. I'm not going to get mad. I gave you full permission. I think it's incredibly underused. I know that his ult has a lot of value, but what I want to see, because this is what Wildebeest does, is he puts his ultimate out aggressively and everyone walks in.
Yeah.
I like to see them group up. He puts the ultimate out aggressively. Thorn EX spaces them in. They get a stun on somebody while they're in there, and they're all going to get heals. It'd be super fun to watch. I'd go nuts. You'd look really good. I'd sound like a genius. Let's do it.
Yeah,
all right?
I'm down for that.
Let's do it.
I want to look smart. It's so rare that I get that opportunity because, you know, sometimes you're just not smart.
Getting also, yeah, mostly me. That's what we have you here for.
Yeah,
to balance out my idiocy.
That's a mistake.
But Wildebeest, since he does ult a lot, I think Ogflosion, his pull is going to be that much more of a threat now. I mean, you're annoyed and you don't want to get pulled by Thorn, and it is a very dangerous thing. But if you can get any kind of slow from Alicia or any kind of freeze, you can get a pull into a Paloma ultimate. It will 100% force escapes, especially against someone like Niwa.
Yeah.
So I think they definitely have a lot more capabilities to put pressure from range.
Yeah,
with this composition.
yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it. You can get some nice pulls on the Pestilus. It's kind of like versus Lucy. Once Infest is down, if there's no roll for the Lucy, you can just kind of land a pull on him and just kill him. So we'll see if they find themselves in an opportunity where that happens. Ogflosion, though, we see how much more safely he's playing to start this one off.
We can, as you've mentioned, Thorn's the best ranged character in the game.
He is. Thorn's incredible.
Thorn already, just keeping things at bay. Look at the mid control they have. Not really getting the pull on Niwa. Good WASD movement from him. The entangle on a Skywind gets broken. Who's going to get the orb? Blue team does secure it. Niwa's doing a fine job against Ogflosion in this 1v1. Nearly getting the pull on Paloma to Whizzle, trying to get that far hitbox.
And things working out pretty good for Empath here. They're getting close to ultimates. Wildebeest has his. Chalt almost has his. Could blow the game wide open. We see it come out on the Pestilus far back, but Shifu, oh, I thought for a second he might be able to get that orb.
The ultimate out for Ogflosion. Wildebeest has to use energy in other ways. Other side's now down. A little defensive. I don't think he had a lot of pressure for that ultimate. Knowing this guy when has almost nothing left, Ogflosion might actually be using to try and get the ultimate, but he knows.
Oh, that's bad. The Infest absolutely missed, and if you do that, you'll just die. Niwa gonna get burst down by that dead root, says he had no way out. Another orb being secured by Empath, and with it, the round.
Yep, and not to fall in the meme press space to pay respects.
Yeah.
He knew it. The moment it missed, he's like, oh, bye, guys.
Yeah, he was like, that's all for me.
This round is theirs.
See you guys next round. Like I mentioned, though, I really like this comp. I like the Thorn a whole lot better than the Freya. We see how much better it looks when they can kind of sit as a unit, as Paloma wants to do. And Wildebeest, he's incredibly good at this Paloma, so if you want to build a team comp around anybody on Empath, I would say you want to enable Wildebeest to do his job.
All right, tied up in maps. In this best of 5 maps. Win score 5 within each map. Sounds more difficult than maybe you think it is. Just watch. It's really, oh my God, Chalt.
What happened?
He didn't have energy. He couldn't use Ice Crown. He's just going to find it again. He uses it, but he misses on the Shifu. Skywin knew it was coming.
Yeah, all of the shields being used on Chalt now, and the Thorn not doing much better. Ogflosion getting chunked down. A nice double in cap allows Excel Wizards to secure that orb, too.
Skywin being very smart with his cooldowns, getting the EX pull, keeping Chalt away from Wildebeest. I like that he's using it not just to go in, but to keep him away. Chalt didn't find any value in that space, didn't even break line of sight, and he will get hunted. DeWizzle might be in there, but he's got his shield. He's just going to WASD out of there. Yeah,
on the other side, searching so hard for the kill is Ogflosion, but he doesn't end up getting it. Wildebeest going to go down too, and that round, that went so well for Excel Wizards.
Yeah, the opening again onto Chalt. Didn't have the Ice Crown, and even when he did, he wasn't actually able to find the Shifu. Once Skywin knows that Alicia has built up the energy, you'll see him kind of space out a little bit because he doesn't want to get that free Ice Crown hit for the extra push.
Right.
And he'll just kind of double ASDs to make it that much harder. And even if he does get hit, again, he builds the Javelin right so he can... yeah, I think he's got it. I think
yeah. Yeah, you can get right back in there.
One of them colors.
One of the colors.
The yellow or the blue one over there. I don't know which one.
I'm no Shifu player. I don't memorize his colors.
I'm Shifu pocket main, which means I just pick the one that people tell me to pick, you know?
Yeah. Gotta pick him sometimes. But man, the beginning of that round, so often I praise Wildebeest for his patience with other side, but that time it kind of bit him in the butt as Chalt was getting destroyed and he held the other side. Chalt didn't get enough energy for that Ice Crown early on, and we really see the value in that early energy.
Ogflosion kind of flinging out those E's without a lot of value early on. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a pretty heavy cooldown that he really needs to just start mitigating damage and to make it a 2v3 for a temporary period of time. That Petrify can be so strong.
Oh man, they are going hard on Chalt. He does get his space up again. This pull though, oh, beautiful Barbed Husk timing.
That was dirty. That Barbed Husk was pretty sick. Red team secure the orb with an M2 from Pestilence. They're going to get the pull as well, so there's the space. Will they be able to find it? Ogflosion really wants his ultimate to try and chase it down, but he's about to find an Esmo. Esmo gets the pull. There's the ult on the Niwa, but he has his base back up already. Wow. A little bit too long for that.
Niwa's out in no man's land, sitting in another country. DeWizzle, he manages to get back with him. Oh, but a nice Ghostwell from Wildebeest secures the orb, and with it, Chalt's now at a full bar, has that full stick of butter. We'll see if he can do anything with it.
There's one ultimate from Paloma. Doesn't force a lot of cooldown. There's the pull into Chalt. He has the space bar there, which means he might have to ult just to stay alive. Yeah, the incapacity onto his support, but he doesn't find the Shifu in the ultimate. Such a sticky Shifu Skywin has been.
Niwa, he's getting ran at here. The Infest once again used, but there's no dead roots available. Ogflosion, he desperately is wishing he had that full bar of energy right now. He's still trying to chase down onto that Pestilence, but not getting too much done.
He finds the Whizzle. He's trusting the Chalt. Wildebeest can deal with Skywin. Not a lot of value in that space. 2 ultimates right now for Blue. Wildebeest put his down. Gets the pull. There we go, baby!
Oh, Empath! What's up?
I'm a genius. I called it.
You're so smart, dude.
Now I just want to see in the X space. That's all I want to see. The entangle, keeping Skywin from dealing any damage. There is still a small chance here. I mean, you can get a little bit of heals on both these. There's the Barbed Husk to keep him at bay.
Oh, I like that other side. That would have been pretty scary. The Barbed Husk looked like it was about to run out. Oh, but Excel Wizards, they get the orb. Skywin, he's getting relatively close to an ultimate carpet. He's going to need it if he wants to blow this round open.
Yeah, but it looks like DeWizzle might just go down here. No, he's going to heal up just enough with the EXM1.
Did he just heal up off the Ice Crown?
I don't...
What a weird interaction. Ice Crown's a very strange ability.
Did it? Yeah. I couldn't tell if he did or if he was hitting her with the tip of that hitbox, but I don't think so.
I don't know. I think it did. But, man, absolutely beautiful play from Ogflosion and Wildebeest. Wildebeest and his ultimates absolutely destroying this game, and that round in particular. A great pull from Ogflosion, too, on the Thorn. Really great team play from Empath. It's so cool watching this team because they have these moments of glory. If they're able to, you know, get a little bit more consistent, I could really see these guys making a run.
2, 1, fight.
The Thorn switch really seeming to work. The opening week, and they still were able to pull off the victory.
Wow, Skywin reliably getting these double in caps to start this off, and Chalt, he barely avoided taking true HP damage here.
He's using them in very strong moments. DeWizzle has to be careful. He's able to push Thorn away, gets the space, secures the orb, finds the distance. Now he's going to have to go help Pestilus out a little bit.
Yeah, the other side forced on himself. Ogflosion, a beautiful, another double in cap carpet, and that's going to lead into a double fear. Beautiful play from Excel Wizards as they're doing such a great job splitting up Empath.
Skywind is being very patient with that. You'll see sometimes a lot of aggressive Shifus just in-capping the moment they have the cooldown just to try and get maximum in-cap value.
Oh,
that would have been, if he got that. If he was able to pull that orb out of there, the Bard Pass just to secure, not death. He stays alive through that Shifu ultimate. Pretty massive. They are surviving for quite a long time here, but look at how low. We see two of their champions. 50 health for Ogflosion, 50 for Wildebeest.
Yeah, this is where Excel Wizards comp absolutely shines. If you just eat a stray Chaos Grip from DeWizzle, or if you eat a stray M2 from the Pestilus, you're gonna just die here. And in Wildebeest, we see it happening.
Oh, he was forced out of his own ultimate. That's unfortunate.
How are they? I think twice this round they got double in caps into double panics. I really, really like this comp from Excel Wizards. And Empath, even though they win so dominantly in the round prior, they're just getting CC'd this round.
Yeah. I mean, I think the patience on Skywind right now is just having such massive impact. We already know how strong the in-cap from Shifu is, but what you see a lot of times that I think can be a fault depending on how you're playing. Aggressive Shifus, the moment they have their R off cooldown and they see someone that can't deal with it, they'll just smack
use
them.
it, yeah.
Because you still do find raw value, right? You're still getting the in-cap, and whoever that is, then you all turn to their opponents, or maybe to them, to line up some damage, depending on if it was to support or who you hit. But you'll notice how patient he is. To just make sure he's securing the double in-cap. He knows that Wildebeest needs to stay near Chalt.
Yep.
He sees that they're sticking together, so he's just waiting for that perfect moment, nailing the double in-cap, then getting the double panic because he knows that Niwa is just waiting for that moment. And then from there, they find all the damage on Ogflosion they want. This
round, though, definitely not starting out as favorable for the Shifu. Not even able to farm up that first bar of energy carpet. He tries to get in here, gets a decent amount of damage onto Chalt, and they get the orb. Excel Wizards, they're looking to pull ahead here with that first orb take.
And they got all greens.
Yeah, big deal.
There really was. Skywind, even with not a great opening, hasn't found any max health damage, really. Other side onto Chalt. EX space.
Oh, I love that mind control play, just separating Ogflosion from his allies, forcing Empath to run to the right, and freeing up Excel Wizards for another orb take. Empath needs to quickly start securing these orbs.
There's the ultimate ice block. I actually like it. It still gets the heals. It still puts him in a good spot. I don't know if the other side was there as well.
I think the other side was just burned. That's super unfortunate as two key cooldowns for Empath are no longer available. And now the damage is quickly going to start adding up. The Dead Roots is thrown out and Ogflosion does secure the orb. That's so incredibly important. Wildebeest is now sitting on his ultimate, a very important tool for Will.
Panic just before the E. He somehow manages to get pulled around that wall, but thankfully for him, the wall stopped him from getting pulled into his potential death. Ice Baby still goes down. The EX space. Shifu won't get hurt from that in the slightest. Uh-oh. He tried to use the Queen to push him out of that ultimate. That was pretty great.
Yeah, he tried, and he gets triggered. He triggers that panic. He might go down here, Carpet, and he does. They managed to find the kill off the ultimate from Wildebeest, that double tick, but the Thorn is just getting ruined by Skywind. And if you look at Skywind's energy bar.
Oh, the end cap onto the support. That could be it. That could be it. No, Ogflosion actually keeps him at bay just long enough. He gets the Thorn buff to heal himself up. He burrows. Oh. He's going to Barb Husk, yep.
He's out of cooldowns, man.
He's out of cooldowns, and Wildebeest just can't find him. The M1 heals. You can see where it proves to be so difficult. They're keeping him away from the midfield, not letting him grab the orb, not letting him get any greens.
Yep. Beautiful play there from Excel Wizards to secure at the end of that round. It looked for a second like Empath might be able to bring it back, but Skywind and DeWizzle recognized that they were in a powerful position, and they just went in. They continued the pressure up on the Thorn and the Paloma, not allowing them to get back towards mid, like you mentioned. And Empath, they just couldn't handle it. You know, Shifu is incredibly good against Thorn simply because he can reliably farm up those M1 stacks. Thorn only has the burrow, and you're not really scared of hitting Barbed Husk if you're Skywind and you're pressing like your EX space. Barbed Husk actually works in favor of the Shifu in that situation.
Yeah, just EX space. You can actually just start M1 shredding through it while he just stands there and watches. Like a monster barreling through a door.
Ooh, a lot of abilities used on Shifu right now. No shields left on the side of Excel Wizards, but it definitely worked out as Ogflosion, he got chunked.
Red team does secure the orb, and now there's the damage on his Shifu. Him and Ogflosion in a battle to see who dies first, maybe. The entangle on the support. Skywind knows he has to play safe. He was going to go in on Chalt, but he opted to change his mind. Arcflosion and Dewizzle. Dewizzle winning this trade. The orb's coming down. We have 2 ultimates now. One for Pestilus. There's another for Esmo.
Oh, God. Arcflosion. He came out of his burrow and right into that ultimate. Very unfortunate. Wildebeest, he's sitting on an ultimate, but Excel Wizards get another orb.
There's the EX space, but not finding any stun value.
What? Triple in-cap, and Skywind is just going to tear this round open with that in-cap. Beautiful play from the Shifu. We haven't seen the Shifu play this well in a little while, but man, Skywind's really bringing it all to the table.
Really is. There's the ice block. She actually does stay alive just a bit longer, but the Panic's going to chase her down. The Queen. The Queen helping to secure that kill. Wildebeest now. Last one standing will go down. Excel Wizards. 4 rounds to 2. Have they figured it out?
It's looking like it. These engages from Skywind have just been so clean early on. And like we mentioned at the beginning of the game, if Alicia can't get that ice block, if she can't get that 25 energy early on to use Ice Crown to get Skywind off of her, he's just going to run over her. And Skywind's been playing so well, opening up his team to be successful simply because of his pressure. When the Skywind Shifu is in there applying so much pressure, you have to commit all 3 characters to it if you're Empath, and that frees up Niwa and Dewizzle to do whatever they want.
Funny enough, though, I still think the Thorn pick's a little bit better, even though they seem to be struggling a little bit more. Thorn finding Niwa. The space is now down for Pestilus, but Chalk is trying not to get completely shredded by this Skywind, who takes a lot of damage, actually, that time from Barbed Husk. Glacial Prism, silenced from the pull.
Ooh, good orb take, and now if you look at the energy bars on Empath, they're all almost sitting on ultimate. Arcflosion only 1 M1 off his. They could blow the game open with this.
There's the pull into Chalk, but no max health will be found. The M2 just barely finding Dewizzle. He mounts up, he wants to try and close the gap. Skywind's gone in.
With no immaterial, we might see an ultimate here going on to him. The Dead Roots is going to be used in an attempt to secure the orb, but they don't get it. Now Dewizzle, a beautiful panic from Niwa. A big burst of damage onto that Paloma.
Mira indeed.
Dewizzle getting pretty low here. He's able to secure some greens. The freeze comes out from Schultz. Pestilus just kind of getting ran at now.
All right, Esmo. Can he stay alive a little bit longer? Oh, Pestilus gets pulled in. He has the space bar. There's the Esmo ultimate in cap. But it gets broken. The other side comes only on Wildebeest, but the shield from Charl helps keep him alive. Pestilus wants to stay alive. He gets one scarab. The burrow, but I don't know if he can stay alive. He doesn't. That could be it. It will be. Chalt's going to die shortly after, and Excel Wizards look like they're going to take this one.
Yeah, and it looked really good for him, too. Did a great job coordinating damage there at the end and just winning systematically through the aggression of Skywind, enabling his team to be successful. And they just couldn't find the punishes. Empath couldn't get done what they needed to on the Shifu to make his trades not worth it. And, you know, from that point on, Excel Wizards just kind of ran with it.
I liked seeing it. I liked it. Even with a Thorn pick, they're still able to take that map 5 rounds to 2. So they're now ahead 2 maps to 1. If Excel Wizards win the next one, they will move on and find themselves in a good spot. But that also means that their opponents will be moving down into the relegation tournament. They will not be relegated just yet, but they're one step closer to being relegated. I don't know if that's what I don't know if that's how you want to word that.
Yeah, generally when you say one step closer, it's to a good thing. But being relegated, certainly not a good thing. But of course, they will have another match. The loser of this game will have another match before they get relegated. But man, that one just really looked like it was in favor of the red team. Excel Wizards playing very well. The Thorn pick didn't work out quite as well as we anticipated it would, even though the early rounds went well for them. Just really great play. We saw Excel Wizards play aggressively and secure orbs off the back of their aggression. And they just kind of won through the war of attrition.
I mean, what happens is Thorn goes in, and he usually wants help from that Paloma, but as you said, the M1 heals prove to be very difficult sometimes because you can't get heals through from a distance, so you're waiting to get the other side whenever he truly needs it. But he's going to take some damage in the meantime, and he's not going to want to space bar out, and other siding all the way out doesn't feel great either.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to get the resets to get the heals. I imagine we'll see Empath might go back to the fray because that didn't feel great for them, but I do still think they should stick to the Thorn and try and adjust.
Yeah, we'll see. I would have actually liked to see a change on the range character. I feel like Alicia just has too big of a problem against Shifu early on. Maybe they could have switched to like a Jade or an Ashka. I know Chalt is very capable of playing both of those different characters, but they feel confident in their Ice Lady. They feel like that's not the problem.
I mean, Ashka with the Freya, since Freya was landing a decent amount of the incapacitates. I think could be cool. Could you get, you get the volcano into the ultimate. There's a decent chance, but we'll probably see. I mean, what do you think? Thorn or Freya? What are you thinking? Quick.
Maybe Shifu even. But I think the Freya's probably more likely because Ogflosion's very good at Shifu. Maybe he feels like he just needs to match that pressure being put out by Skywind, but they're opting to stick with the Thorn.
I said quick, and you didn't even take my bet.
Yep, I went the roundabout answer. I was like, well, I don't know, maybe this.
I don't like to be wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. I took the safe bet, dude. I got my look on the line.
Yeah.
I can't risk being wrong.
My job is to make you feel pressured into making answers, and then hopefully they're wrong sometimes, and I get to make fun of you for them.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was wrong this time. I said Shifu.
Yeah. Well, you said maybe Shifu, so you're like kind of wrong.
Thank God for the word maybe.
Yeah. Maybe really has saved you from a lot of situations.
Yeah.
You want to go out to dinner tonight?
Maybe we can go. I might be free later.
Sorry, I'm busy. I can't. I said maybe. You can't get mad at me. I didn't give you a definitive answer. All right. Excel Wizards really figured out how to play against this team comp.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see more combos with Thorn. Maybe him space out a little bit more. Use his range to his advantage. Get the resets. It's okay. You've got your M2s to poke. You've got your pulls to force out cooldowns, but that means you cannot miss them.
Yeah.
So massive that you at least make them escape from this.
Yeah.
Or at least get the pull to just punch them in the face on their way in, which is super fun to watch happen. Like, just pull them in with your thorny hands, thorny grips. That's going to be big for them. Barbed Husk, I think he was actually finding really good value in the Barbed Husks.
Yeah.
So he was finding value in that, which I know Thorn is very strong in. I still want to see the EX space into the pull ult. I want to see it.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. We did see the pull into the pull ult. That was pretty nice.
Excuse me, SLS. If I get this bet right, can I get like 10 points on my predictions? If I get something so specific right, or is that against the rules?
I don't know. I hope they give it to you. You deserve it.
Thanks. You're too nice. You're supposed to tear me down, so I have to try and build myself back up. Whatever. But anyways, if Excel Wizards take this win, they will move forward, and that's going to be massive for them. They are now up 2 maps to 1 in this best of 5.
Yeah.
If you've never heard the phrase best of 5, it's first to 3.
Yes.
And win score 5 means first to 5, best of 9.
God, so
Trust me, this isn't confusing. This is not confusing.
Definitely not confusing. Don't worry, guys. No confusion here. I was interested to see what map we're going to end up on. Dragon Garden Day. I think we only saw this map once in the entire round robin stage of the BPL. So this will be interesting to see how it goes. I like it simply because, or I like it for Excel Wizards simply because there's a lot of room for Niwa to run. A lot of places for him to go to get away from the Ogflosion Thorn. And on the same note, Chalt has a lot of room to run away from the Skywind Shifu. And if there's one thing we can locate that seems to have been defining how these rounds go, it's Skywind's initiation. If Chalt can be successful, if he can line up against DeWizzle's Esmo and farm some M1s, get some energy for the Ice Crown, the rounds have gone okay for Empath. But we'll see if Shifu lets that happen. It's funny how something so small, like how you line up, can have such a big impact in how the round goes.
And let's talk about, honestly, those first entangles that Ogflosion's throwing out. He's almost just kind of throwing them out for fun to poke, and he's not really finding value in that. And I think that's massive. Getting that first one lets them then make a move in their favor and on their behalf. Even if you hold it a little bit longer, wait for Shifu to come in, or wait for Niwa not to be able to get an escape from you. He's going to get the pull. He won't find the value in that. Ogflosion's trying to muck about. He's holding that entangle. I like it.
Look at how this map is playing in the favor of Empath. As Chalt and Wildebeest go unpressured. Unfortunately, you can't say the same for Ogflosion. Oh, wow, what a great double fear from the Pestilus there.
Ogflosion trying to find value in his pulls, in his entangles. Shifu getting the incapacity, but it gets broken immediately. There's the other side, and the Barbed Husk. The double cooldown's not going to be great.
Beautiful.
There's the beautiful swap that you were talking about from Wildebeest.
It's what we've come to expect from his Paloma. Really great play there, but Thorn, he needs a bit more than that nice EX swap as he's just getting chopped down by Skywind. The orb is going to be secured by DeWizzle and co as well.
Skywind knowing not to overcommit, getting the pull so he doesn't need to. Back for a glimpse.
Cute.
Pulled, pushed. What are they going to do with Shifu that can't make up their mind?
Yeah, where do you want him? Make up your mind, guys. Ogflosion, he gets hit by that Chaos Grip. The Scarab's being thrown out. A nice other side from Wildebeest keeps him alive. But this deficit is absolutely massive, Carpet. Oh, they get the orb. That's nice.
They did get the orb. Got to give huge props to Skywind for switching targets. The moment one of them uses an escape for him, he's just going to turn to another one. Get the in-cap, go for the third. Force a space, just go for another. He's not overcommitting. He knows he has to play safe.
Empath have managed to make it back in that choke as well. They can now contest this next orb, which they desperately need. Ogflosion, he needs the HP so bad. That Barbed Husk is late, and that's really not great. The orb going to be secured by Niwa as well. The ultimate from Wildebeest is going to heal up his allies a little bit, but Ogflosion wasn't in it, Carpet, and now he's just getting ran out by the Esmo and Excel Wizards. They have everything going for them here.
Yeah, he used his escape just to get into the ultimate and didn't even find value in that. The freeze on a Petulas, but will it be enough burst damage? Chalt, he gets infested. His support goes down. Excel Wizards still keeping 65% of their health pool for that one.
Yeah, this Alicia Paloma backline is having such a hard time contesting Skywind Shifu, and getting forced out into that choke is absolutely the worst nightmare of Empath. They need these orbs if they want to play to their win con, which we've seen being these ultimates. They line up their ultimates very well, Alicia and Paloma getting a lot of value out of theirs, but they're simply not able to get as many as they would like because the orbs are always going in favor of Excel Wizards, and they really need to stop the Skywind initiation so they can commit to these middle orb takes.
Gonna value with Thorn get early on. He finds Skywind instead actually to keep him up, and then he still hits the counter, so he just finds the backline yet again. And there it is, using the Javelin Battlerite. It's so cool. He keeps that distance for the panic. He's playing so smart right now. In the meantime, his teammate DeWizzle.
His DeWizzle?
His DeWizzle. I don't know. That doesn't sound too great. I'm not going to lie. That's going to get clipped, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for it.
You're fired.
Wildebeest dodging the M2 from DeWizzle, who will find his ultimate very soon. Oh, no, getting pulled out of it. Nicely done by Skywind.
It's the little things, Carpet, and that little play from Skywind negates so much healing on Ogflosion. The orb, though, it's not taken by that Esmo ultimate due to the change on his ultimate Battlerite, and Empath managed to take it.
Ogflosion wants to just try and find value, wants to get the poke. He uses the E again, doesn't find anything in the entangle. Cold Embrace finds one. Oh no, but the pull, the anti-synergy.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. The Dead Root's going to be committed. Oh, it doesn't hit anybody, Carpet. No value out of that Dead Roots, and the orb doesn't even go in favor of Empath. That's a big energy spend for no value.
Yeah, and just look at how Skywind is swapping targets.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care. He is in absolute control. He alone is pretty much controlling how Empath is playing. There's the entangle. It does hold him at bay.
Nice.
Actually, that was really good. Force the counter and the immaterial, but they don't get the orb again.
Wow, that Scarab hitting all 3 times. Huge damage out of that ultimate. Ogflosion recognizes this round is over and kind of accepts his fate. Really nice play from Excel Wizards and Niwa to clean up that round.
Excel Wizards, they're using the combos, not in the normal way that we see. It seems a little bit more on the sustained combos where Skywind's going to do his thing, force out the cooldowns, which then lets DeWizzle get a little bit more damage onto them. I mean, kind of traditional, right? The OG play style where it's like just force cooldowns and then punish.
Yeah.
Then they're doing it well. I mean, Skywind right now, his targeting is massive. 1,200 damage nearly that last round.
Yeah, that's quite a number there. And honestly, this is just too good a game for the Shifu. The Shifu is doing whatever he wants on this backline. Alicia can't do much to commit before or to fight against him until she has energy. And Ogflosion just kind of feeds him M1 stacks with Barbed Husk and after his Burrow is used. Skywind, they just have to do so much right to handle him, and he can make so many mistakes and be okay. Well, there's the first one. His counter's not proc.
The entangle and the pull for Ogflosion. Now, all he has is his space, and he wants to try and punish. He does find the backline, but what kind of damage is he going to find now? Barbed Husk, he just got enough energy for it. He did a really good job. Another E.
Interesting. He spears the orb. I wonder if that grants the Battlerite recast. Would be interesting to know.
I don't know if that counts as a wall, but I suppose we could do some research into it. Maybe somebody knows in chat. Help us out. Oh, just nearly missing the pull onto Wildebeest. Skywin on that backline again still. Chal has to come try and help his teammate, and there's the Ice Crown.
Yep, that's good.
But look at that Skywind just hopping around like some sort of weird ninja.
Look at his HP, Carpet. They can barely contest him. The shield comes out to try to answer the Scarab, but still, Niwa hits all 3 with that. He gets so much value from that F press, using his energy and getting the max return.
Shaw might just be gone here. Skywind's able to walk out of that note. Can they find the burst damage on DeWizzle? DeWizzle has his space up. The entangle on Niwa. Let DeWizzle take a little bit more max health damage.
Nice orb take, but I don't think it matters as Skywind gets a big damage ultimate onto Ogflosion. Chalt accidentally jumps over the wall as well. Separates Empath a little bit more than they'd like to be. But, you know, even though this round is going so far in favor of Excel Wizards, the HP deficit's only about 10%.
Come on, give me the aggressive ultimate with the EX space. EX space!
No, he doesn't want to. He wants to walk.
He doesn't want to do it.
Orb? Oh, Orb going to Excel Wizards. Pretty unfortunate here. Wildebeest, or Ogflosion rather, getting so incredibly low. And now Chalt is not doing much better. A big double in cap into the Fear. The Fear lands onto the Paloma, and oh man, this is not great.
The double in cap, Chalt space behind his allies and actually couldn't walk out. They had in cap body blocked him, which you don't see happen very often. This might be the end of days for Ogflosion. They find a lot of value on the Skywind, but he secures another orb with his EX Javelin. In cap into a Scarab.
Gross.
Into a pull on a Wildebeest. He's going to the other side himself. And the Bar Pass, there's the stack again. We've seen that happen so many times.
Can't help but feel like maybe Empath getting a little bit flustered now, as it seems like nothing they do can find success. The Ice Block is going to cleanse off that Brain Bug, but Excel Wizards secure the 5th orb of the round. Oh. Oh man, Skywind, you're so good.
I mean, there's a lot more at play. Flesh, help me out with this, all right? I'm trying to figure out,
Is this where I try to figure out how Empath wins this?
Probably.
It's not looking like they're gonna, Carpet.
It's not, but I mean, so the biggest note for me and what I'm watching is obviously Ogflosion switching from Freya to Thorn.
Yeah.
There are so many pulls and E's that just aren't finding any value.
Yeah, there's some like weird thing with this comp now too, where their original win con of playing aggressively and using ultimates to combo characters, it's not quite as potent with this Thorn because there's no ultimate from the Freya to add like 65 damage. So they're kind of playing this like weird team comp that like wants to try to get orbs and that's how they're going to win, but they're simply not able to against the comp of Excel Wizards because Shifu's so good into it. Shifu just runs over the Thorn and the Elysia and there's not much they can do to contest him.
He wants to build up just enough energy. He now has the Barbed Husk. He gets healed up as well. It's a decent start for them. Again, missing another Entangle. He hasn't gotten any pulls.
Chalt's posturing very aggressively. It's interesting to see the Elysia posture further forward than the Thorn. The Entangling Roots is going to land this time, but it's immediately broken, the anti-synergy.
He did also force the space from Niwa with a pull that might have landed. Using the ult to get out of there, Wildebeest, I think, maybe wanted to do the EX swap onto Ogflosion. But wasn't able to find him. Another EX spear from
They
Skywind.
need this. This is big. They get a huge burst of damage. The double in cap, though, slows the roll of Empath, so they can't get as much damage onto Doodleweasel as they would have liked. But he's still down to 52 HP. That's a great start for Empath.
It is. They have a lot of health as well. Empath still with 80% health pool. Missing the E. Onto Skywind, who's just going to hop from wall to wall. He just doesn't care. Wasn't able to secure the orb, though, so that's going to be really big for Empath. But missing the ultimate. Chalt not finding any value. Thorn using that aggressively just for positioning, but the mind control!
Wow.
He just forces him to run out of there.
So well played by Niwa. That mind control was so clutch as it pretty much secured that he wouldn't get pulled back into that dead roots. But Doodleweasel, he's still so low, he hasn't been able to get any recoverable HP, and he's finally going to go down.
He dropped what looked to be 50% energy, which means Skywind going to build up to an ultimate. Maybe get another one. No, he just grabs it, snags it.
Gives that HP as well. That HP ever important, especially as the Shifu. He's going to spin as well, but other side is the perfect answer to that. Niwa just going to get destroyed up top. Luckily, he has the Infest available, but now he's left without anything.
Yep. Empath, there they are. They're able to snag it 3 rounds to 1 now. A couple of really good moves were able to help them.
Yeah, they got a lot of damage onto Doodleweasel off of that ultimate burst from Wildebeest. He really showed up that round and helped get the huge chunk onto Doodleweasel that pretty much won the round for Empath. And it's funny, even though Wildebeest's damage score is only 503, that damage that he did put out was inarguably the most important on his team. That huge clutch ultimate onto Doodleweasel. And Empath, they desperately need to find more bursts like that if they want to win. I mentioned about how their comp really wants to secure the orb, and Wildebeest being able to drop ultimates aggressively is just another one of those things that you'll get from the orb.
Oh, massive damage already immediately into Niwa, but Chalt now having to run away from Shifu. Oh my
again.
God, there he goes again. The follow, look at them, they just each pick a target.
Whoa.
There's no one that Wildebeest knows who to save, himself or Chalt, and they secure an orb.
That counter proc as well, just giving Skywind so much damage. He's now healing up for full HP off of his EX space. The in cap as well, yikes.
Ogflosion gets the EXM2 into Esmo, but Niwa's burst heal proved to be too strong for that. There's the Burrow to dodge the pull, but Skywind, the EX Javelin again. The ultimate 1-2. The third Scarab finding an Ice Crown.
Another double in cap, absolutely massive. So much damage from Shifu. setting up his allies so well. This is falling apart for Empath. Oof.
Yeah, this is going to be the end.
There he goes. Down goes Wildebeest. The ultimate going to come out from Chalt, try to find something, but going to find next to nothing. And Empath, they're having such a hard time getting these orbs, which is what their comp desperately needs, Carpet. This orb score 0 to 3.
And it's what their team comp should kind of excel at. You've got Wolf, you've got Blizzard, you've got Thorns, Pull. You've got so much to secure orb, but it seems like the pressure from Excel Wizards, they just can't concentrate on the orb around that time, and they've used so many cooldowns to either try and engage to get a punishment, or just try and escape. But they don't have those cooldowns anymore for orb.
Yeah, you're right on the money. You need to play aggressively and get in there when the orb is spawning so you can get it. But Skywind's not letting that happen, forcing so many abilities to be committed onto him in the backline that when the orb spawns, Empath just can't get up and get in there.
This time Shifu finds a good amount of damage on himself, and Whizzle, look at him go, getting melted through. The freeze is out. There's the M2. He needs so much help. He has one more spacebar, but now he's separated from Niwa. There's the Queen to keep Thorn away.
Skywind gets that orb. That's very important.
They all turned because they saw that they were pretty close to punishing, but they needed to secure that orb because that energy is really going to help the sustain for Excel Wizards. One round away from taking this series.
Big pull on Ogflosion, and they seem to have equalized the HP pool, at least in terms of DeWizzle and Og. Og's going to drop his ultimate there in an attempt to just secure the orb, but a beautiful pull from Skywind hits it just on the end. So unfortunate there. Now the Scarab being applied to Skywind, allowing him to play even more aggressively in the ultimate. It's going to be answered by the Paloma ultimate, but still, it's not enough.
Pestilus ultimate into the Shifu ultimate means Chalt is having a bad day.
Yes.
And that is going to be at Excel Wizards, getting the final round, able to take the map, and now winning this series, this best of 5 maps. And it just got more and more dominating for Excel Wizards. The swap to Thorn, I did like it, but so many times they just ignore the orb because they're too busy wanting to get punishment on the champions.
I think after that first game, after the swap to Thorn, they should have recognized that the Shifu was too big of a problem and made another comp adjustment. I think the Thorn in and of itself was fine, but I think the Alicia and the Thorn just left Empath ill-equipped to deal with Skywin Shifu. And it really reflects in the score here as he was just able to pump out so much damage and secure orb after orb. And maybe a little bit of a lack of adjustment there costing Empath the match there.
And what in Chalt's toolbox do you think would have been best? Do you think
Jade.
Maybe the Jade?
Yeah, I like Jade plus Thorn simply because of the Petrify setups off of Entangling Roots, and Jade can do much better against Shifu in the backline. Of course, I think that matchup is still very close and maybe a little bit Shifu favored, but Alicia just seemed like there was nothing she could do. She would get speared onto, and then she was just kind of dead from that point.
The map's going back and forth in the beginning of that series, but then eventually Excel Wizards were able to determine what it took to find the victory against their opponents.
They excelled past their enemies.
Oh, there he goes again.
There he goes again. But yeah, we see it here. This is what they were trying to do early on. The ultimate combo is what Empath was trying to win with. And I talked about it a little bit. When they switched to that Thorn, it simply wasn't as potent anymore. It couldn't get away with it. And the lack of ability to take the orbs. We saw the nice combo here with the Paloma ulti and the Thorn. It was cute, but like I mentioned when that happened, if Empath were able to get that more routinely, if they weren't as inconsistent with their ultimates, it would have been a little better. But once again, I think that just goes back to the orb control. You need more orbs so you can play more aggressively with ultimates, but that also goes just back to the Shifu pick. It all kind of cascades back down to the Shifu pick, not allowing them to get orbs and not allowing them to play around ultimates.
And this is, again, kind of just my personal opinion on the fact that Thorn's EX space isn't utilized. I think it's because the way that Thorn is played, he's played very like, I'm just going to go in and mess things about. I'm very strong. I can use Bypass to support you if I need to. But I'll probably use it on me when they try and collapse on damage. But when Paloma felt stuck with Chalt all the time. So there's never a moment where you separate. Let Chalt and Shifu, when she does have energy for Ice Crown, she can deal with herself for about 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, she can do okay for a minute,
So Paloma comes and supports Thorn. Maybe they get a panic on somebody. Maybe they help just burst out some damage. And then Thorn uses his EX space to go help out Chalt and now deal with Shifu. I think just the way that Thorns play, it's not, using EX space isn't conducive to the way they play right now. I'd like to see a twist, mostly for my own curiosity. I'd like to know if that would help.
We just got spoiled by Lumi. We watched Luminarious Thorn, and now we just want every Thorn to do that. Yeah.
All right, so that's going to be our first match of the day. Coming up next, we've got plenty more. We're going to actually see Space Station Gaming and Atrocity Exhibition